Everyone needs to get freakishly realistic about where you stand in the social hierarchy, what league you are playing in, because I am so sick of seeing everyone try to shoot for the 10% of either gender. But you know what? Guess what? The 10% are dating each other. So there is logically no point for you trying to shoot that high above yourself.
Yes, today we're going to talk about this girl here, and I strongly disagree with her. Clearly, she's talking about social hierarchy, and that ranking can be based on various factors, but I think in her case, let's not lie to each other. She means wealth, income, and social status. That's probably what she means when she's saying the 10%, meaning the wealthiest and the people with the highest social status. And she's very angry. She's pissed because all the other women that she knows, or maybe she saw online, whatever, are shooting for the top 10% of men. She's angry about that. She doesn't like that. She want to keep the top 10% for herself. And I literally have no patience for people like this that are crying all the time, complaining, thinking everything is wrong with the entire world, with everyone else, and nothing is wrong with them. If you have this type of mindset, perhaps you are the problem. So what if every woman is trying to shoot for the top 10% of men when they are dating, especially when they are dating for marriage? No woman is gonna aspire and strive to have a mediocre husband. We all want the best. And what's wrong with that? May the best of us win. But I'm going to give her a big wake up call right now and just quickly tell her that men don't care about these things. Men don't care about the social hierarchy and all this crap when they are looking for a wife, a potential long-term partner. I said this many times before. Men are not going to look into whether you're wealthy, whether you have income, social status. And I mean, when a man is looking for a dream wife, his dream wife, his perfect type of wife. In this case, he's not going to care about status. Yes, there are men that are going to be pragmatic and think about these things, but these men are not going to be looking for the dream wife. They're going to be lazy men that are looking for someone to share the bills with, to share rent with. They're not looking for a dream wife, someone that are willing to do everything for and take care of. That's his dream wife. And when a man is looking for his dream wife, what he truly wants, what he truly likes, is not going to be her income or her social status or her wealth. It's not going to be any of that. If you're a smart girl, then you already know what it's going to be. If not, and if you need a real guidance when it comes to dating strategically and actively for marriage as a single woman, then I have created a program designed to help you meet your most suitable match within 6 months to 12 months. If you want to have access to it, then all you have to do is join my community. You will find the link for it in the description box under this video, and you will find the program I just spoke about in the classroom section of that community. And if you don't believe me, look at our history. There are kings that married servants. Men don't care about your social status or your income or whatever this girl's talking about. Men care about simple things, and any smart woman will know how to acquire these things.
I just went on a date and I can't believe what just happened. Met this guy on Hinge, went on a first date. Super spontaneous, we'd hardly spoken. But we've matched a few times in the past. He's stunning. And he booked this really lovely bar for us. We had the best day. I really wasn't expecting it. It was so good. We were super attracted to each other, chemistry, everything, laughing all night. Amazing. He kept ordering us cocktails. Like, I wasn't instigating any of this. He just kept ordering me new drinks. Anyway, end of the day, we've been there for like 4 hours. I go to the toilet. I come back. He's like, let's go. And I'm like, oh, we need to get the bill. He says he's already got it. So he got it while I was in the bathroom. And I'm like, oh my gosh, no, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. He's like, it's okay, no problem, blah, 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 let's go. Walks me to the station, we're linking arms, cute. Says he wants to see me again. I'm on my way home and he texts me saying, get home safe, let me know when you're home. I'm like, will do. Then he says, I'm so sorry to do this, but the bill actually was quite expensive. Can you send me some? It was like, it was £160. What do I say?
I don't think this guy was going to do this if he was truly interested in you. I understand you had an amazing date with him. That's what you're saying. That's your perspective. But if he had as much of a good time as you did, he wouldn't risk never seeing your face again by asking you to send him money because of a meal that you already ate that is already in your tummy. It's not like you wasted his money. I mean, you benefited from that meal. You ate it in front of his eyes. You didn't just chuck it on the road. You didn't waste it. You didn't buy something unnecessarily with his money. You were in his company and you had that nice meal in front of his eyes. It's in your tummy. You didn't take any money from him. That's the point I'm trying to make. So how are you going to return the money? That's the first thing that I want to clarify. The second thing that I want to talk about is how when you came back from the bathroom and he said he paid the bill, you didn't just stay silent. Let's say he's actually interested in you. If you would have stayed silent and just said thank you and offered a smile, a grateful smile, and said thank you and then let that go, he may have never asked for that money. But you encouraged him to ask because you acted so disappointed and you said, oh no, when you came from the bathroom in your own words. And I know many women are guilty of this when they don't even mean it. They don't want to pay for their share of the bill, but they still act and pretend and say, oh no, and they make a big deal out of it. Don't do that. Just move on. Say thank you with a smile on your face and move on from that topic. Try and talk to him. Try to find topics of discussion. Try to contribute. Try to create that love story. Try to create that relationship, because the two of you being there in the first place means that there is a possibility of him becoming a long-term partner or a husband someday. And you have to contribute to building that story. You have to contribute to making that beautiful story happen by smiling, by laughing, by finding interesting topics. And just doing that is enough. You don't have to keep talking about the bill and to act disappointed and like it's a big deal. Move on. You could talk, you could participate in having the both of you have a great time. You can make that happen. Instead, you said, oh no, and you implied, you said it yourself, that you didn't mind sharing the bill. What he must have done is weigh the benefits and the consequences of asking you to split the bill. He probably is not that interested in you anyway, and he probably told himself that she said when she came back from the bathroom that she doesn't mind splitting the bill. She even looked disappointed that I paid for it. So these two things, him not being fully interested, not being fully invested, he didn't like you that much. I'm sorry to tell you this. It's the truth. I'm trying to help here, not trying to hurt anyone's feelings. That plus the fact that you looked disappointed anyway because you didn't allow him to pay for your share. These two factors made it easier for him to ask you to transfer him money. Now, what you should do, that's very clear and it's obvious, but most women are clueless still when it comes to this type of situations. What you should do is never see that man's face again. And why is that? Because like I said, men don't mind keeping you around even if they are not interested. They will still waste your time, your energy, and keep seeing you to keep you around and see what they can get out of you, what they can squeeze out of you if you will ever allow physical intimacy. Some women do. They show up, they pay half of the bill, and they always pay for their own meal, so the guy doesn't have any reason to reject her. He keeps her around. She's not even his type. She's not even his dream girl or his dream wife, but he keeps her around because it's so easy. He doesn't have to do much. She pays for her own meals. She shares the bill every time. Why would he reject her in a more direct way? He loses nothing by just meeting her over and over and over again, even if he's not that interested in her. And guess what? If he doesn't actually find anyone else, he could turn her easily into a forever girlfriend, and she will get stuck in a long-term relationship that ends up going nowhere because he was never interested. That man's ideal scenario was never to end up with you. You just made it easy by paying for everything that you're going to cost him anyway, yourself.
I was hanging out with my friend yesterday and we were talking about dating, and she was telling me how she's so frustrated with dating and with men, and she's just so over it. And she's 27, she's gorgeous, and I'm not just saying that because she's my friend. She's just objectively beautiful. She's from Brazil, she's sweet, she works out a lot, she's super fit. She's just had so many disappointing experiences over the last couple years. Like, she feels like guys just don't take her seriously for some reason. Like, they think it's okay to just treat her casually, even though she tells them up front she only is interested in something serious. She's not interested in anything casual. And some guys are just actually dumb. They don't know how to behave. On some of the dates, she'll like offer to pay or split something just to see how they react. Any gentleman is not going to accept that offer. He's not going to let the woman pay on at least the first handful of dates. And some of these guys will just let her pay. Like, they'll just be like, yeah, go ahead. You can pay for that. Yeah, pay for that. I'm sorry. He was just in the mindset of like, I've just been so disappointed by so many of these guys. Like, I just don't even want to try anymore.
I'm sorry, but this is a trap. You are trapping people on a first date. You could come across your soulmate, the most suitable, the most compatible person you'd ever come across in your entire lifetime. But they'd fall in the trap that you set for them by asking them, do you mind if I split the bill? You set them up. You're shooting yourself in the foot. If you don't want to split the bill, the least you can do is stay silent. Is say nothing about it. Okay, let's say you don't want to split the bill. You don't want to be confrontational about it and fight and argue if the girl asks you to split the bill. At the same time, you don't ask to split the bill. The least you could do is stay just silent and see what happens. If he asks you to split the bill, yes, fair enough. I can understand if you split that bill, and because you've been asked, what are you going to do? Argue? You don't want to be confrontational. You'd rather just pay, right? I can understand that. And then at the same time, you take a mental note and you eliminate that guy. You never see him again. I understand that. But why go out of your way and offer to pay for half of the bill if you just don't want to? And if you're going to eliminate the guy if he accepts, even if you're not the type of woman to split the bill, you're making that guy believe that you are. So it's going to backfire either way. You're making that guy believe that you're the type to split bills. Let's see her logic. Let's see her and her friend. So there are two people here that are being unreasonable and that are like supporting each other, convincing each other that are right and dabbling down on this craziness. I think there is a shared psychotic disorder that two people can have that we call folie à deux, which is like a rare psychiatric syndrome where delusional beliefs are transmitted from one person to another. I think this is what we're dealing with here. Because what do you mean you and your friend agree that although none of you want to share the bill on the first date, you still ask to share the bill? Whenever you go on a first date, you still ask the man. Well, if I don't want to be slapped across the face, I wouldn't ask someone, do you mind slapping me, please? Of course, I'm only going to have myself to blame if they agree and they proceed with doing what I asked for, right? If you expect the man to pay, let me set up the rules again, tell you what's reasonable, what's okay to expect and what's not okay to accept. First of all, how can you say you expect the man to pay for at least 2-3 dates? This is confusing and this is crazy. If you either expect the man to pay for the dates always, and you don't nitpick, you don't tell him where to take you, you don't select expensive restaurants, you let him plan it out because he's gonna see what he can afford and what he cannot afford. Or you don't, or you offer to split the bill the way you said you already do, and you continue splitting the bill always and forever, and you're going to end up in a 50-50 relationship. But again, that's what you asked for and you're happy with that. But to say that he's going to pay for the first 3-4 dates and then at some point, we don't even know at what point and what's going to trigger that, he's going to have to stop and you're going to start paying half of everything. But why? Anyway, I don't understand this concept. If the guy is paying for everything, if he's paying for all of the dates that you go on, you should also contribute. You also have a job, something to do. Like I said, you don't nitpick, you don't demand going on specific dates to specific places or specific restaurants or do expensive things. You let him plan it out, because he's going to see what's in budget for him, what he can afford and cannot. You should also be grateful, have a smile on your face, contribute into creating a good experience for the two of you, making sure that both of you have a good time talking, finding interesting topics of discussion. You should do that. That's your role. That's the least you can do if a man is going to pay. Be grateful. Let him plan it out, because obviously if he's going to be paying, he should be able to select what type of dates you two go on. He could even choose to take you one time, I'm not saying every time, on a picnic date, and you shouldn't complain because he's the one paying for the dates. He always does. You should be happy. You should be grateful. That's what I think. That's reasonable. And you can tell him in a gentle, feminine manner that we don't have to do the same things. And depending on his budget, he may end up taking you to nice restaurants. Sometimes he will take you to normal, maybe not a low budget, but more normal places, or he will set up different dates according to his means. That's my point. That's what I mean. But what you don't do, if you're expecting all this to avoid shooting yourself in the foot, is asking a man to split the bill when you clearly don't want to. Even if that man would have paid for the entire bill, now you're asking him. And like I said, if he's not really that interested anyway and you ask, he will say, all right, why not? If you agree with what I'm saying, may as well subscribe. And again, I remind you that if you're a single woman dating for marriage, I have created a program that will take you step by step and help you meet your most ideal match within ideally 6 months to a year. You will find it in the classroom section of my community. So go ahead and find the link in the description box under this video for you to join my community so you can have access to it, and I will see you there.